Hey, hey everyone. Hey everyone. Tyson Sport, aka Tyson's Paradise. Welcome to the YouTube channel, and this is gonna be first time ever I'm gonna be talking about a video like this. So basically, what this is it's gonna be me telling you my Walmart experiences. Now I've worked for Walmart 2 times. So I've been employed by the company twice. The first time I was employed by Walmart was 2012, and I think I started in September. Anyways, so it's my first job, and I think I was there for about 3 years or close to 3 years. Like I was coming up on the 30-year mark. And everything was fine at first. You know, it's a new job. I'm meeting people, co-workers, etc., doing all that. Fast forward about 4 months into my job, still doing good. My bosses like me, and I get employee of the month 4 months in. So people were a little bit jealous, you know, kind of at the work site. I guess, you know, some new person comes in, and in 4 months they're already employee of the month. You've been here 20 years and you've never been employee of the month. So you can see where there might be a little bit of jealousy sometimes. But there was a lot of cool people that I work with, and job was fine. You know, we had some really good bosses during that time. They knew how to run the store. They knew how to run the floors and people and get the job done, and they knew how to be respectful about it. You know, and ask politely, or you know, sometimes they were nice that, you know, they'd be breathing down your back, you know, really heavily when work was a lot of work. You know what I mean? But for the most part, they were reasonable. They were reasonable for the most part. Fast forward, I think I started out as a stalker, and you know, eventually I got bored of that, and I was like, man, this is too easy. Is there something else I could be doing here? Man, stocking's too easy. This part's too easy. I'm like, I'm gonna try for something else. So I was like, man, what other positions could I take? So I did dairy and I did frozen. I think I took a pay raise for that. Learned frozen and dairy, did that. It was a little bit different than the regular stocking, but did that. Eventually that got boring, and I was like, man, there's gotta be something else here at this company that I can do. So I was like, you know what, why not? You know, I've done everything else, you know, why not try out to be a support manager? And so talked to my bosses about that, and they, you know, told me what I needed to do. There's a test I need to take online, and assessment, and pass it, and get a certain percentage. And if I do, then I can be support. Well, as I'm going in to take this this exam to determine if I can be a support manager, I run into another support manager, and I'm not going to name any names, but this manager, I was like, man, what do I need to do to answer these questions or take this test to the best of my ability? Do you have any advice? And they turned to me and they said, John, just answer every question like you don't give a damn about people. Just answer every question like you don't give a shit. I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, really? You know, I'm like, really? That's the advice? Answer every question like you don't care about people, and you'll pass. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, what kind of advice is that? But sure enough, I went in to take the test, and you know, I was like, you know, their manager, they'll probably know what they're talking about. So you know what? I'm gonna go by their advice. So you know what I did? I sat down, and every question that came up, I looked at all the answers, and I chose the one answer out of all of them that was the meanest answer. That was the answer, like they said, like you don't give a damn about people. I answered every question like I didn't give a shit about anyone, and I passed that test. Now that's ridiculous. A company that makes billions of dollars, customers swarming in, They tell you, you know, the customer's always right, be nice to the customer, all that stuff, and then you take a test to be a manager, and they tell you to act like you don't give a damn about nobody, and you will pass that test. And the fact of the matter is that I listened to that advice, and that advice worked, and I passed the test, shows that that company is messed up, man. In order to be a manager, you want to answer that like you don't give a shit about anyone? Fair enough. Let me rewind. I think there was a moment where my schedule had messed up. Sometimes the Walmart schedules mess up, and you scheduled a day off that you normally wouldn't have. But sometimes, you know, you don't know really. I mean, sometimes management could give you an extra day off. Sometimes they couldn't. You know, either you follow the schedule. That's what they tell you. You follow the schedule. So the schedule for me told me I was off on an extra day. So I was like, you know what? Okay, following the schedule. Came in. They asked me, John, why weren't you at work yesterday? And I'm like, I wasn't scheduled. But you know your normal schedule. I know. But you always say follow the schedule. I followed the schedule. The one time I followed the schedule, I get in trouble because somebody couldn't do their job and make a correct schedule. So I got in trouble. So I'm sitting there with the manager, and she's like, okay, well, if you want to take that extra day off that you took, okay, well, how about I send you home right now? You can have another day off. I couldn't believe that. That I couldn't believe. So yeah, they sent me home that day. Because I took whatever schedule they gave me, and I went with it. They had me on my regular 2 days off, plus a third day later in the week. How messed up is that? Now, I get that extra day, and you want to penalize me because you can't make the schedule correctly. You want to penalize me for your mistake because you can't make a schedule. I was like, alright. I went home, took an extra day. That's just one of the many things. And then when I became support, you know, I was trying to learn stuff and get taught things, you know, and learn how to do different things, run the floor, run people. You know, when you become support manager, you really do find out how much your coworkers might not like you as a manager. I wasn't trying to ever be a dick when I was a manager, but I just wanted to get my job done, kind of, the best of my ability. So I might come off a little bit dickish a little bit at times, but never meant to. And I'm sure they know that. But when I was support manager, I remember one time, because you get this little earpiece and stuff, and I remember one time in the earpiece, one manager talking to me. It's coming up on 7 o'clock, it's usually when the shift ends. Yeah, I know as a manager, you're probably going to stay over your shift, which I usually did. But I kept hearing on a headset, John, is this done? John, is that done? John, is this done? Oh, John, you know that if this isn't done, you're not allowed to leave. If this isn't done, then you're staying until it's done. You're not allowed to leave at all. You have to stay here until this is done. I'm like, really? Don't talk to me like that. I'm thinking in my head, really? I'm a support manager. I'm only 2 months into being a support manager, and you're going to talk to me like that? I'm still relatively new at being a support manager, and you're going to talk to me like that? You're going to tell me that I can't go at all until this, and this is done? Who are you to tell me that? You know what I mean? It's not like he said, John, we need this, and this done. Please. please stay, finish it. It's not like he didn't say it like that. No. He was demanding that I could not leave no matter what. Couldn't believe that. So, I remember one time, and this is all in the first experience, my first time there. I went off on the manager, and I was like, look, man, you need to show some respect to your workers. I was like, I don't know if you realize it, but you don't show your appreciation enough. And sometimes people just want appreciation. You know, you're always this. Why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? Why isn't this done? Why isn't that? Instead of saying thank you for your hard work, you need to be saying thank you to these people, showing them that you appreciate the hard work. And I just remember going at it. And then, sure enough, he actually went by everybody in the back rooms after that and thanked every single one of them. I guess sometimes people just need someone to remind them, that everyone's human. I don't know, but so I really hated Walmart though. I hated it because there was always bullshit. I mean, every job has bullshit, but there was always so much bullshit at Walmart. From management to coworkers, people not wanting to work and you having to pick up the slack, and then your bosses come to you and ask you why it's not done. Because your coworker decided not to, do the work. So you got to pick up their slack, and so you got twice the load, and then your bosses want to come to you and tell you, why aren't you finished? Well, if so-and-so would have did his job right, I wouldn't be in this situation. Oh, and if you would have sent me help like you were supposed to, I wouldn't be in this situation. I can't tell you how many times that I've experienced bosses knowing people needed help finishing an aisle, a cart, a pallet, whatever, and they just don't send the help. It's always, oh, I'll send you somebody, and then no one shows up. I'll send you somebody, nobody shows up. They really do forget that people are human, and they pretty much run you into the ground until you break. Mentally, physically, Walmart is not the place to work. But, so I switched from being a support manager. I got tired of it. There was a whole week of bullshit leading up to me not wanting to be support no more. Trucks and pallets were tipping over for a week straight, and I was just like, man, I'm done. I'm stepping down. Screw this shit. So I stepped down, and then I transferred to days and became an unloader. And boy, was that something else too. Now, the same manager that I had complained to about how he didn't appreciate people was back on his power trip again. So one day I'm unloading stuff. I'm full-time associate, all that stuff, and you work for about 2 hours. After 2 hours of work, you get a break, and then 2 hours after that, you get a lunch, and then 2 hours after that, you get your last break. So I'm about to go on my lunch, and I'm walking down the aisle, whatever, on the way from the GM side, and bump into the co-manager. He's like, John, what's up? Where are you going? I'm like, look at my watch, look at the time. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to lunch. He's like, lunch? 6 o'clock? You don't get to go to lunch. Not until that truck's unloaded. You can't go to your lunch until that truck is finished, John. I was like, wow. I'm going to my lunch. Okay? 2 hours I get a break, then 2 hours I get a lunch. I'm going to my lunch. I'll see you later when I get back from lunch. And he looked really pissed when I said that. And I could quite frankly care less. You are not going to tell me that I don't get a lunch at that time when I signed up for this job, they told me I am guaranteed a lunch at that time. 2 hours from the time that you get there is your break. 2 hours from that is your lunch. 2 hours from that is your last break. I am getting my lunch and you can't stop me. And you know you can't stop me, so don't bother to say anything. I mean, it's ridiculous how much they try to micromanage you and control you and tell you can't do this and do that. Who are you to say that? Yeah, you're a manager. But guess what? I'm not your slave. And if I get to go to lunch, I'm going to go to lunch. See you when I get back. But anyways, so that was pretty much like my first run a little bit. I mean, there's little things here and there too, just bullshit stuff that management would do. But that was like my first run. Now my second run was about 2018, and it lasted until 2019. That's really short. Now, there's a reason for that. And I'll dive into some of those details here in a minute. That first experience, really, I left on good terms. Told the bosses, I just thank you for the opportunity, found me a new job. I was there for about 3 years almost. I really didn't have core issues. Like, I got in arguments with bosses every now and then. But, it wasn't like a super heated argument. It was just over some simple things. And they kind of understood. Again, we had better bosses than we did the second time I came. So anyways, I needed a job, so I reapplied and went back to Wal-Mart a second time. So last year, 2018, around March is when I got hired in. So there was this manager. Now, he'd worked there the last time I was there, but I never really crossed paths with him the last time, and he was still new to his position a little bit. But he's an assistant manager now. And so anyways, things are kind of alright, I'm still kind of struggling financially. And there's this manager, I'm just going to call him Big L. So everything's fine. I'm working, cap team, whatever, that is. It's a new thing, cap team. You get a different time to be there. It's like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning to like 1 in the afternoon. So you're stocking, labeling, putting boxes up, all that stuff. Did all that stuff. And towards the end of it, there was a few moments in the middle. One time, okay, so there's plastic for a cart, and I cut the plastic off the cart, took the plastic, and I put it on the side of the shelf, away from people, just tucked away on the side for the moment. Just out of sight, out of mind, and then I was going to go to lunch and then swing by, and yeah, I know you're not supposed to work while you're off the clock, but it's really not working. I was just putting the plastic off to the side, clocking out for lunch, going to pick up the plastic on my way to lunch and just throw it in a trash can. Well, the manager, Big L, he came by. Before I had a chance to stop by and get the plastic, he saw the plastic tucked to the side. I got there, he turned around and said, "John, whose plastic is this?" I'm like, "Mine." I put it there, away from customers, away from people, out of sight, out of mind. I was going to come by and get it. "Are you on your lunch?" "Yeah." "Then you can't get this plastic." I was like, "It's plastic. Literally takes me 2 seconds to throw it away. It's like trash inside your house, or trash on the street, or a random piece of trash you see lying around." I'm like, "Lindsay, just think of it like that." Big L. Lindsay. He's like, "No, I can't think of it like that, John." Then he proceeded to talk down to me like I was the dumb one. Well, you can't leave this here, this here, this here. Too many carts, too many baskets. This. And he keeps talking down. Why is this here? Why is this here? And I'm like, wow. I'm just like, wow. Go to lunch, John. Go to lunch. I'm like, all right. Went to lunch. That was time 1. Okay, later down the road, he did do me assaulted once. Just so this isn't me completely bashing him. He did buy me a pair of shoes. They were like $20 or $30, something like that. $40, something like that. I needed a new pair of shoes and he got it. I appreciate that for what it is. I needed new shoes and you got them. I appreciate that. So it kind of told me that maybe you weren't a 100% dick or an asshole. Maybe you were just having a bad day. But no, you took things to a whole new level later on. Okay, as time progresses, he's always checking in. Why isn't this done? Why isn't this done? We have to give him reasons. Because he has to have reasons to tell his bosses. Well, I'm telling him, dude, I was like, we have carts stacked this high. Or, we have pallets and pallets and pallets and carts and only 2 people. Well, the computer says 2 people can handle it. Your computer's wrong. And I told him, I was like, I can guarantee you, if you sent anyone else from this store, in any department, if you sent them over there, the frozen, took one of us out and put one of them there, your result would have been the same and never changed. That work would have never got done because it was too much work for 2 people. Well, if you guys were doing your job and getting it all done and put in the bins and labeled and scanned, your trucks wouldn't be so big. I was like, wow. Well, if we'd had enough people working here, maybe the job would get done. But we don't. I was like, whatever. So, that was another time. So later on, there was another time, I'm talking to a co-worker, and he's like, man, that guy, talking about Big L? Yeah. He yelled at me in front of all the other managers. So apparently Big L got together with all the managers, and this co-worker of mine, he had forgot a box, I think from bakery, and I get it. Those boxes need to be delivered there, and to keep it from going bad and whatnot. I guess he just didn't see the box. I mean, honestly, he didn't see the box. He just didn't see it, so it was accidentally there. Well, Big L comes storming through the doors already, I guess in a bad mood, and he sees the box, and now he gets pissed. So he demands a co-worker to come there, and he's like, why is this box there? Why wasn't it delivered to bakery? I don't know. I didn't see that box. I honestly didn't see the box. I didn't know it was there. Oh, well, you're so stupid. That's stupid. And he's just cutting down this guy, calling him stupid, just telling him how much of an idiot he is for not getting the box to where it needed to be, for the fact that the box was there in the first place, that if he was doing his job right, the box would have already been the bakery, and he's just hammering this guy, just telling him how fucking stupid he is, worthless he is, and all this crap. And so later the guy comes to me and he tells me, so Big L told me this, and this, and he was just, man, he made fun of me bad in front of all the managers. He made me feel like crap. Like I was so stupid, like I'm below him. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, that ain't right. I'm like, man, you need to stand up for yourself. You're gonna let him walk all over you? Yeah, I get it, he's your boss. Yeah, I get it, he's a manager. But that does not give him the privilege or the right to throw his weight around. He thinks he can say and do whatever he wants and have no consequences. Because he's a manager. Because he's so high up on authority. He thinks he can get away with talking down to people and telling them how stupid they are and this and that and this and that. It's ridiculous. Okay, so leading up to the end of my second experience, I had gotten in one argument with him. We were by the freezer door one morning, and he said, "John, how much you guys got left?" I had just got back from break, so I hadn't checked the cooler. to see how much was left. And I was like, I don't know. Whatever in there that looks like it's not opened. He looked at me and he was like, are you really going to say that? Is that really your answer, John? I'm like, yeah. Whatever's in there that looks like it's not opened. And he just looked at me and he's like, and I'm like, wow. All right, John. And then it escalated. See if I can remember what was said. You know, I said, yeah. Is that he's asked me, is that really your answer? And I said, yeah. Okay, yeah. He said, is that really your answer? And I was like, man, don't talk to me like that. And he looked at me and he said, what? What, John? Don't talk to you like that? Don't talk to you like that? I was like, don't talk to me like that. All right, John, let's go to the office. I was like, Big L. I was like, Big L, trying to get his attention. Will you let me talk to you for 1 second? That's what I kept telling him. I was like, will you let me talk to you for 1 second? Nah, we're not good at talk. Calls in the other support. Follow, go to the office. Yeah, got John with me. So we do that. Go to the office because he needs a witness. So he calls in a support manager to be his witness. And I'm just sitting there, and he's sitting there. He's like pulling up the computer, booting it up, because he's going to try to coach me. And I'm just curious, I'm thinking in my head, what's he going to coach me on? Not being productive? Because I was being productive, I did my job. What are you going to coach me on? Being slow? I wasn't going slow. What are you going to coach me on? For telling you something, for answering a question that you asked and you didn't like the way I answered it? Is that the reason you're going to coach me? I want to know so I can go talk to the boss, the real boss, and tell him what you do. And he's like, I was going to give you a coaching, John, but I don't want to do that. And, he's doing that stuff. And I'm just like, you want to tell? And then he looks at me and he's like, you want to tell him what you told me, John? By the freezer door? I'm like, okay. Let's say it. And then I couldn't remember my exact words from what I said in the moment, but I knew the gist about what I said. So I was just like, he's like, yeah, so tell him what you said by the freezer door. I was like, okay. You came in, you asked how much I had left. I just got back from break, so I don't know. Haven't even looked in the freezer. I don't know if there was, anything done while I was at break. So I'm like, he asked me how much we got left. I'm like, whatever's in there that looks like it's not touched. So I changed my words a little bit. So he comes in, he's like, that's not what you said, John. You said whatever's in there that's not open. I'm like, okay, then that's what I said. You're probably right. That's what I said. I just couldn't remember. Yes, whatever in there that looks like it's not open. That's what I said. And then you looked at me and you said, are you really going to talk? Is that really your answer, John? Is that really your answer? And I said, are you going to talk to me like that? Like I'm stupid? Are you really going to talk to me like that? Like I'm stupid. And then, I tried to call him, reason with him, but he wouldn't let it. And then he called you. And then somehow it escalated. Not exactly sure 100% how. But he said something, and then I was like, no. And I pointed at him. And he's like, you're pointing at me now, John? You're pointing at me and you're raising your voice? Fuck yeah, I'm going to raise my voice and I'll point at you because you've pissed me off now. And I'm going to tell you about yourself. I don't care if you're a manager. I want to tell you about yourself. Your own coworkers don't like you. They don't even want to work with you. They hate you. You make them feel bad. You make them feel like crap, like shit. And yeah, I started cussing right in front of him. I was like, you make them feel like crap and shit, like they're beneath you. Like you're some unholy god of management. And you're above everyone. You rule with an iron fist. And I was just like, you don't have respect for people. Oh yeah, John, I may show tough love sometimes, but that's just the coach in me. I'm like, some people don't like that. Some people just want to be appreciated. You can't treat everyone like they're the same and they're going to react the same. Because everyone is different. Not everyone likes that tough love shit. Some people are already depressed and sad inside and you're ruining their fucking life. You know, and then we're starting to shout at each other. He's shouting, I'm shouting. Fucking, he says, hey, John, what did I tell you about the average car? I'm going to tell you what you told me about the average car. When you were by the door, you told me the average cart takes 15 minutes to work. Liar. He's like, I never said that. I said 45 minutes, right? Right? And he looks at the other manager. Because he needs someone to back him up and save his ass. And his other manager's like, yeah, because that's what they've talked about, probably. But when he spoke to me, he told me, John, the average cart takes 15 minutes to work. And then when he tried to lie in that room and say 45 minutes, I called him out and I pointed at him and I was like, you're a liar. And he's like, there's one thing I'm not, John, and that's a liar. And I'm like, you're lying right now. You're lying right now.